Now to the U.S. troops just home from Iraq. Some of them celebrated the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl winning New York Giants today with a parade on Broadway, the same street once used to celebrate U.S. forces who've come back from war. Now those forces want the same honor, at least some of them do. Our Brian Todd is joining us with more on this part of the story. Brian?
Wolf, veterans of the Iraq War seem to be taking the lead on this. They've seen that image of a ticker tape parade in New York for the Giants, and they're saying they deserve a national-level celebration as well. A fitting tribute to the Super Bowl champs down New York's so-called Canyon of Heroes. But on this day, some other heroes are wondering, why not us?
I think most Americans agree if the Giants deserve a Super Bowl, so do the 1 million Iraq veterans who served.
Paul Rieckhoff, who served in combat in Iraq, is head of the group Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. He's petitioning government officials to throw a parade for troops returning from Iraq. Along the Giants' parade route, one man who says he lost his brother in Afghanistan puts it more forcefully.
They were dying for and getting nothing. It's both.
It's a sentiment that's gathered critical mass on the campaign trail.
And it frustrates me greatly that as we come home from one of those theaters, that our government, this administration, refuses to give them the simple acknowledgement of a job well done with a parade down a main street of Washington, D.C. or New York City.
There's certainly a template for it. After the first Gulf War in 1991, parades were thrown for those returning troops right down Constitution Avenue here in Washington and in New York, events that cost millions of dollars and attracted national media coverage. Impressive showings of troops, weaponry, aircraft. It recalled the rollicking parades after both world wars, but notably missing after Vietnam. For troops from the Iraq War, St. Louis decided to go ahead with a parade recently, and the White House plans on holding a dinner for some Iraq veterans. But top Pentagon officials say a national-level parade now would be premature.
The chairman and other senior military leaders do not think that it's appropriate at the given time with service members in large numbers fighting in Afghanistan to hold a national-level parade in New York City.
But analysts say another factor at play could be no one wants to be criticized for declaring victory prematurely.
It really shows how controversial the Iraq War is. Even when it's over, people are debating whether we won or lost. And I think the Pentagon seems to have that mentality of not wanting to declare mission accomplished in a situation where the outcome is so ambiguous.
Colonel David LePan at the Pentagon says the Joint Chiefs Chairman is not thinking along those lines, and he says he hopes that a national-level parade will take place as soon as both wars have been concluded. Wolf?
Brian, there are other potentially key players in this debate who are hedging their positions on this issue right now. Isn't that right?
That's right. New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg says he thinks it would be great to have a parade in his city, but he says the Pentagon has asked them to postpone any parade as long as there are troops in harm's way in Afghanistan. He says he's going to defer to the military on that. We also contacted two very traditional veterans groups, the American Legion and the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Both told us as much as they would welcome a parade, they do understand why the Pentagon does not want to hold one as long as troops are still in theaters of war.
Yeah, I remember covering those parades back in 1991 after the first Gulf War in Washington and New York. Brian, thanks very much. Jack Cafferty has your email answers. That's coming up. And Democratic super PACs may soon be flush with cash.